The situation that happened last week, and you can really tell I was lost in what I was going to say in that video. Like, I was disgusted, frustrated, and I felt like just when you thought you know a guy, turns out he's doing something wild. You know, I spent most of my social life on the internet, going all the way back to AIM, Messenger Live, then Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, Steam, Discord, the list goes on and on. I've sort of exhausted myself from online social interactions at this point. I barely use Discord at this point too. And throughout the many years, the numerous people I've met, I've grown friendships with, I've no longer talked to, I completely forgot about, there's one thing I learned that relates to the situation. Every person behind a screen, an avatar, a username, we sometimes forget that that person is also experiencing a full life as well. Someone can be dealing with health issues, work issues, grinding out the daily stressful activities with their life that you don't see in chat logs or any sort of interaction you have with them. And we don't think about this because conversations you have online with people are very raw and intimate and even immediate. Everyone is more confident about themselves behind the screen, which is why people talk so much trash online and are willing to behave erratically because they know they wouldn't do that in person. Otherwise, they would have be in Brock Lesnar German suplexes or Boston Crab. You can't be acting goofy in person as easily as you can online because before someone socks you in the face and you're laying there on a World Star Hip Hop video with your pants pulled down by your knees. You know what I'm saying? And due to this, we disassociate someone from being human almost. We just acknowledge them by a username or an avatar. And again, we fail to acknowledge that they're experiencing a full life still behind the screen, but they're not acting genuine on the internet. So we don't think about that. Therefore, we meet people and it's very easy to make quick judgment of someone's behavior and their life without any context behind it. Like I said, just when you think you know a guy, right? Something I learned is try your best. I know it's hard for a lot of y'all, but it's hard for me too, I'll be honest. But try your best to be kind to everyone because you don't know what battle someone is facing. From the many years online and now experiencing this with this person that I mentioned that situation last week in that video, I've met people who have lashed out on me, flamed me, threatened me, made very offensive comments, trolled me or tried to, betrayed me, snaked me, everything. And I later find out that person who did that stuff to me, whatever that was, I find out that, the person was going through a family crisis. This person was going through this and that. Now, does that justify their behavior? No. But you know what doesn't help? Responding in the same way. Hence why I stated, try your best to be kind regardless of the situation. I don't like this thing people say. Well, I don't agree with it. I'm not saying it's wrong. Maybe it's situational, but I just don't agree with it. I don't like when people say to quote, match their energy. Just match their energy. Oh, this person is being angry with you. Match their energy. Start yelling at them too or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Bro, if you're giving me, Aku, a hard time or you're acting up, I'm not going to return that same anger or emotion with you. I'm just going to either not reply, walk away, or just write something very neutral or vague. Or I could just block people too on the internet at least. Because what I've noticed oftentimes, when you pull back from that quote, matching their energy, someone's being angry with you and you respond angry as well. If you don't do that, it helps pull them back from being on edge without them ever knowing it. Going back to what I was saying about how everyone's fighting a battle. If everyone is fighting their own invisible battle that you may not be aware of to why they're acting up or acting a certain way, and look, you're fighting your own personal battles in your own life, you don't need to hop on the bandwagon. So with this in mind, after being on the internet for so long, and it taught me this, the situation that happened last week, that guy, he was always nice to me. I've never personally had a problem with him. But after the situation, I'm hearing other people apparently did. But again, he only treated me nice, maybe because I always treated him nicely. I didn't know he was doing some weird stuff, but clearly he is in a battle that we didn't know about. A battle that clearly we all find very disgusting and vile, indulging in something very illegal and sick. I felt like crashing out. Before I even uploaded that video, I felt like crashing out so many times about the situation. But this is what I meant. I said to myself after I made the video, and I was so bothered by it, I said, I'm lost of words, but you know what? All right. What am I like? I hope he heals from his illness or something. I'm out of here. That's it. I could have harassed him. I could have really harassed him. I could have called him and raged at him because, look, you put my reputation in jeopardy because we took a picture together. Like, I could have doxed him in my own video. Notice how I never showed the TikTok video or linked it after he got exposed for trying to meet with a little girl. So much retaliation I could do. So much anger and resentment I could externalize onto him and to his peers and to his family. And you know, I'm sure a lot of you feel like you're entitled to do that. You're justified to do that. But you know what? Hey, the level of restraint I have that I know many others watching or listening would not be restraining themselves to do. Look, I'm acknowledging he was wrong and he's vile and he's sick. He is very wrong, vile and sick. But I'm going to protect my space. I'm just going to keep moving on. His own actions brought disharmony to himself, his family, his peers, everything around him. And I'm not going to add more harm to that. I don't know. Bro, this is not a stance or message of approval. This is not a stance or message of approval. It's a choice of protecting my own mental space, my own anger, my own emotions. If I see this guy, I thought about it too. Before I even made the video, I said, when I see him, I'm going to beat his ass. Like, I'm really about to like stomp this guy out. Like, I was furious about it. And funny, I know where he lives too. I was thinking about it. It's like, I know where he lives. I know where he goes. I know where he hangs out. I know where he works at. He told me where he works at. I could literally walk in there and just like sock him in the face or something like that. I don't know, put him in charge. I don't know. I was mad, but you know what? You know, I gotta protect my own space. Like, I'm not about to get time over this freaking sick bozo. Protect my own mental space, my own anger, my own emotions, without including myself in a situation that already destroyed enough lives, which this guy did. And he's probably going to destroy more lives. The lesson I'm trying to share is that I know a lot of you guys disagree because some of you guys don't have that same restraint. The guy's a diddler, you know what I'm saying? Like, I told you, I really want to, oh my God, see, I'm getting mad. Look, when I said, just understand my point here. I'm so worked up right now. See, this is why I'm talking about. I'm so worked up now. I feel like my whole day is going to be ruined because I'm talking about this. Because I'm so angry just thinking about this freaking bozo, bro. Anyway, when I said, be kind, you don't know what battle someone is facing. Kindness is not always about helping someone or forgiving someone. Sometimes kindness is about withdrawing yourself from the toxicity and the anger or sadness that can drag everyone down further. Because that toxicity all started because of that battle someone is facing. You hear me? When I said you withdraw yourself from the toxicity that could drag everyone down further, when I'm talking about, like, I feel like really just like being someone's ass, being this guy's ass, I could really stomp him out or something like that. This guy's like, bro, I could really, okay, so now what? I'm going to get arrested. My family is going to be distraught. You know, now I'm going to get an assault charge, a battery charge, you know, see, like, you know, this is what I'm talking about, bro. You're like, you know, kindness can be about withdrawing yourself from the toxicity and the anger that could drag everyone down further. This guy already caused enough harm to my mental space. I gotta, you know, they're facing a battle, and that's their battle. That's something they gotta face and deal with, not you. It's not your responsibility to match that energy. It's not your responsibility to get involved. Prioritize your own mental health, your own safety over vengeance. Refuse to let someone else's darkness, their problems, their sickness, their mental health issues, refuse to let that pull you into a cycle of toxicity and harm. Does this make sense? This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.